know I did a video not too long ago about running not being good for fat burning, so I want to actually take a minute and talk about what type of cardio does work for fat burning. So, break this down. Cardio, reason why. We're doing it to burn fat. So, once you know why you're doing the cardio, that starts steering you towards what type of cardio to do. How do we do this? How do we utilize cardio to burn fat? There's three things. I know I've said this before in other videos too, but I'm going to repeat it for sake of this one. There's three things your body can use for energy: carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Your body's going to utilize carbs first because that's naturally what carbs are designed to do. Once those are burned away, your body has to choose between protein and fat. It's going to make that decision depending on what you're doing at the time. If you're doing something really intense, like weightlifting or running, anything really intense, then your body is going to be forced to use muscle mass or protein in order to generate that energy, because it can turn protein into glucose about as fast as carbohydrates. Fat turns into energy really slow. So in order to utilize the fat, well, best thing to do is to first get the carbohydrates out of your system and then do some kind of activity that steers it towards burning fat. So you want to do something moderate, not nothing too intense to where it's forced to burn muscle mass away. Usually this is where the walking on an incline or something moderately paced comes into play. The way I decide what intensity is best for fat burning is usually I figure up a person's heart rate range depending on their age. That has not failed me yet, so that's what I stick by. I have had instances where people were not losing body fat and they weren't monitoring their heart rate during cardio, and that was the only variable we changed. Was we put a heart rate monitor on them and they watched their heart rate range and fat started coming right off. So I know for a fact that that works. For you guys that do cardio before you lift, which I see all the time, and I still can't believe it. When you're doing that cardio, you're burning off your carbohydrates, and then you go lift weights. Now you've got nothing in the tank and you're trying to lift weights. That is an intense exercise for the muscle to make those strong contractions and stuff. So it can't use fat to replace that energy fast enough in between sets, in between reps. So now you're cannibalizing yourself by lifting weights with no carbohydrates in the system, which comes to when? There's two main times a day where fat burning cardio works the best, and that is when you first get up in the morning, because most of the time you don't have any glycogen in your system and you can pull from fat stores easier, and so you do the moderate pace cardio before you eat your first meal of the day. So that actually, for me personally, it works better if I do it in the morning than post workout. Some people vice versa. You gotta try it out and see which gives the better results. Both work, but for some people one will work better than the other. Another time to do it is, of course, post-workout. So if you guys drink like a carb protein solution after you train, you need to set that aside and wait till after your cardio. So you do the weight training, immediately go to the cardio, and then immediately drink or eat whatever food or meal you have right after the cardio. So you're just delaying that post-workout meal or shake about another 20-30 minutes, just so you can utilize that time to burn some fat off, because that's a really good time to burn fat off since all your carbohydrates have been burnt off during the weight training. Another time you can do fat burning cardio, for some people, if their diet's kind of lower in carbs, so that even at nighttime or in the evening they're going to be kind of running off of some kind of alternate energy source, you could fit a cardio session in there. If people choose to do it in the evening, I usually say wait a couple hours after you eat or an hour after you eat, or do it right before you're supposed to eat. So that way you have something going in your system right after you're done. In that case, still, the heart rate, don't go outside of the heart rate range. If you're doing a keto diet, full-on keto diet, the rules are a little different. My rules are a little different. This is how I approach it. Morning post-workout, still good, still works. Because you're running off of ketones, and ketones are made from fat, and that's what your body's using for energy, usually any time of day should work. I believe it will be more effective morning and post-workout. If you want to do one in the evening or sometime during the day, because that's the only time you can fit it in, it should work, because you're running off of ketones. Ketones are made of fat, so as long as you're burning off the ketones, you're burning off more fat to produce more ketones to use for energy, and so it makes sense. Now, the way I do the keto diets, if people are going further into the week before they get their 1 day of carbohydrates, sometimes it's a little bit hard to hit that heart rate range. So I tell them, as long as you're hitting around 100 beats per minute or so, that's fine, because you're still burning ketones just walking around. So at least get something done. It's harder to get the heart rate up to that range until after you have your high day. So I tell people later on in the week, when it's kind of harder to hit the heart rate, just try to shoot for 100 and hold that, and you're good to go. How long per session? If it's in the morning, some people go anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. Like I said, my personal rule that I apply is you should wake up, have your cardio done, and be ready to eat within an hour of waking up. I don't like people to go more than an hour in the morning without eating when they wake up. If you're not doing cardio, you best be getting out of bed and running to go eat within the first half hour. So if you get up at 4 in the morning, start eating by 5, if not sooner, just depending on how long it takes to get the cardio done. But do not go over an hour without eating. Post-workout, I don't like going over 30 minutes. Do your workout, immediately get on the cardio, do no more than 30 minutes, immediately drink your shake or eat the meal you brought with you to eat it post-workout, and then carry on with your meals for the rest of the day after that. If you're one of those that's doing one in the evening because your carbs are low, I say you can go up to an hour. Just make sure you have a solid food meal to eat right after, just so you don't go too long without eating anything, because you're on a diet and you are burning calories and stuff. You want to make sure you're getting food in regular intervals. Just make sure, but if you're doing it between your workout and the evening cardio, there's at least a couple of meals you've had before then. Now, if you're doing intra-workout carbohydrates and meals, which I do, even when I'm dieting, because I like it, post-workout cardio, I don't believe is going to be as effective. So if post-workout is the only time you can do your cardio, like for me, if I was going to do, because I drink 50 grams of hydrolyzed or isolate protein after I work out, and I drink my carbs during the workout. Now, me personally, if I'm doing post-workout cardio that day because an emergency or some shit's happened, I won't do the intra-workout carbs, and I'll just drink water when I train. But I will mix those carbs with the shake to drink immediately after, so I get the carbs for recovery and everything afterwards. So I just shift that intra-workout to post-workout, when put it with my protein shake, and I'm good to go. You want to do intra-workout and still get a couple more than one cardio session in. Do your morning session before you eat. Do your intra-workout, train, and then go home, eat a couple times, and then do a cardio session in the evening before one of your meals in the evening. So you got cardio, training, cardio, like that. No post-workout. You have one by itself in the morning, one by itself in the evening. The idea behind this, when I was talking about the body burning carbs, protein, fat, all for energy and everything, is you're opening up windows where your body can utilize fat, and then that's when you do the cardio. If you can learn how to drain the carbs out of your system at certain times so you can do fat burning cardio and utilize that tactic, you can get a lot of fat off and still manage to eat pretty decent. That's the idea behind this. You are utilizing times where your glycogen's low, your body's running off of fat, and you can get your heart rate elevated a little bit and start burning some fat off before you have to eat or do whatever it is. So that's the idea behind this method. Open up windows of opportunity during the day when you're going to run off of fat, and then utilize that by doing moderate pace cardio. There are other cardio methods for burning fat, and I want to do a whole separate video on that one for people that for some god-awful reason must have to run, or for people who are in the military, or any type of job that requires certain run times. There is a way to knock out two birds with one stone, spare your muscle mass and burn body fat, and I will talk about that in another video.